Hello, YouTube. I know the lighting is bad. I'm in my car. I just got off. But I want to say this to you guys. Some of you are still going out senselessly into the streets and frolicking through the streets as if it's a joke with what's going on, which is the pandemic of 2020, COVID-19. Some feel as though that they are not going to be told what to do. They could do what they want to do. And with the mentality, oh, I'll show them, and some of you are ending up dead. Sure thing, you're showing us all right. You're showing us how foolish you are. Stop venturing out unnecessarily. If you have to make market or have an appointment that's crucial and you have to go and the place is truly open, call before you go. Reschedule if you really do not have to go. Because those of you who are going out into the streets, you may not display the signs, but you're taking this deadly infection back to your family and friends, and it's not fair to the people who are trying to follow the guidelines. The guidelines are put in place to save your life, and I'm not understanding for the life of me why you're not getting that. Let's sidebar for a little bit. Those of you who are just focusing on COVID-19 and its effects, you're not looking at the bright side. And sometimes you have to look at the bright side to receive your blessing. No, all the time you have to look at the bright side in order to receive your blessing. And the blessing in all this is a lot of us who has not had time to rest properly are getting the rest we need. Those of you who have not spent time with your families because you feel as though, or you felt as though you did not have time, you now have time. You're having meals, you're having discussions, you're having game night, you're having date night. Even though it's inside the house, you're still spending time with your family, which is a blessing. That's a blessing, especially for those of you who have family. Some of us may not have the jobs we used to have, but you're still here. That's a blessing. Because a lot of people are dying daily and behind this infection because people don't know how to stay inside the house. If you do not have to go out unnecessarily, please do not go out unnecessarily. Please stop riding the buses and all these things and walking through the streets and going into these stores that are still open for senseless things that can wait. Some of you have to learn how to be frugal and use what you have to avoid that unnecessary trip beyond those front doors. Some of you may have cabin fever or what have you. Learn to read a book. Reflect. For those of you who don't want to do video games, who don't have video games, read a book. Talk to someone you haven't spoken to in a long time. Check on them. Call them up. See how they doing. Reconnect with that family member you haven't spoken to in a while. Reconcile. This isn't all about COVID-19, and a lot of you are missing it. It's about pulling together as one, period. That's what every pandemic or epidemic is about. Pulling together as one. And it would be nice if we could continue that beyond the pandemic or the epidemic or whatever the situation is. We have to wait until something is dire that's put in place to cause whatever disruption, mishap, or death for us to get the fact that we need to pull together. I need you to get your heads out your butt. I need y'all to sit up and take notice that there are blessings in this. Have you heard of anybody being snatched? I haven't. Since this pandemic happened, that's a blessing. You don't have to worry about nobody snatching you now, at least for now. That's a blessing. Truly it is, because it was getting out of hand. And COVID-19 brought that to a screeching halt. You don't hear about a lot of fatalities. I'm not saying that they aren't taking place, but they have dwindled tremendously. That's a blessing. You haven't heard about road rage because nobody don't want to get COVID-19. That's a blessing. It's blessings all around us. You have to look for the blessings if you're not used to identifying them for what they are. And that's you woke up this morning, that's one. You have your good health for those of us who have good health. That's two. You're indoors for those of us who are blessed enough to be indoors. That's three. You still have a job. For those of us who still have a job, that's 4. You have family, you have friends. I can go on and on and on. For those of you who have vehicles, you still can get around. For those of you who have money, you can get that food you need. And be so kind as to pass it on. Pass on what you can to those of you who know, who need help, whether you like them or not. Don't be like that. Share time with your family. Have date night with your loved ones. Have movie night with your loved ones. Take advantage of this time to get to know your family. Take advantage of this time to reconnect with your loved ones. Reconcile. Because as you can see all around us, tomorrow is not promised. This is what you're missing. Tomorrow is not promised because a lot of these people who are dying had no clue that they were going to die. You need to look for the blessings in this. Everyone's situation is different, so your blessing may be different. But all around the world, for those of us who can wake up, that's a blessing that we all share. For those of us who say we are well and we can make it, that's a blessing we all can share. For those of us who wake up indoors, that's a blessing we all can share. Who can provide our own selves for the things that we need through the blessings of a higher power, of course. That's a blessing we all share. I need y'all to wake up and take notice. When things like this happen, it's for a reason. It's for you to stand still and look around. Then rejoice and give thanks for what you do have. Because you could be dead. Be safe. Stay out those streets.